Okay, for this problem, you need to know one thing here. You need to know, first of all, that this is possible. I mean, you can actually cancel sine inverse and sine only when, look, sine of inverse of x, parenthesis sine of x is x like that, only if x is between negative pi over 2 and positive pi over 2. Okay, that's the condition. If you notice, this number 11 pi over 8 is not in this range. Um, Look, let's find a common denominator. I mean, of 2 and 8, which is common denominator of 8 and 2 is 8, right? So let's multiply both top and bottom by 4. That will be negative 4 pi over 8 and positive 4 pi over 8. Okay, so notice something, that 11 pi over 8 is not in this range. In other words, look, if you make a circle, um, you make a circle like that. Let me just create a circle like this. Okay. Um, okay. Let me rewrite this. Sine of 11 pi over 8. Um, you create a circle like that. Um, Remember, sine inverse only works from here to here, only on this half of a circle. Sine inverse, right? Um, right. So this 11 pi over 8 is about here. Let me show you where it is. Right, is here. This angle right here is 11, is this angle theta, right, is 11 um, pi. Let me write it here. 11 pi over 8. Okay, which is not in this half circle. Remember, in this half circle, you need to have negative pi over 2 to positive pi over 2, right? So what you do is, first of all, you need to get the reference angle. The reference angle is this little positive angle acute. Remember, a reference angle is acute, and is the angle between the terminal side of the angle. This is the terminal side, and the x-axis, right? So this angle, well, you know that this is 0. This is pi over 2. This is pi, which is the same thing as 8 pi over 8, correct? So from 8 pi over 8 to 11 pi over 8, we have 3 pi over 8. Okay, that little angle is 3 pi over 8. 11 pi over 8 is on this third quadrant. Okay, but you don't want it here. You want it either on the fourth or the first. And remember, these angles, they gotta be negative because they go counterclockwise. So the reference angle in this case is 3 pi over 8. Again, reference angle is a positive angle. It's always positive between the terminal side. This is the terminal side of the angle. This is the angle right here, theta. It's called theta, and the x-axis, right? So since we know that the sign of sine, the sign here is negative. Also here, also on the fourth quadrant, sine is negative. So you need to adjust this reference angle right here. Okay, so you need to adjust this angle. Actually goes like this. The actual angle you're looking for goes like that. And since this angle goes counterclockwise, this is gonna be the initial side of the angle. It's gonna be the terminal side of the angle, and it goes counterclockwise. It's negative 3 pi over 8. Okay, Notice something, this angle is in the interval we want. You cannot just cancel these guys like that and say this is 11 pi over 8 because this is wrong. Okay, the rule says you need to make sure that this angle is in the domain of sine inverse, right? So what we have to do pretty much is replace this inner angle. You know, if you do sine inverse of sine of negative 3 pi over 8, like that, like that. Now we can actually say that this is in the interval, and we can actually cancel these two guys, this sine inverse sine, and the answer will be negative 3 pi over 8. But to do this problem, to do this type of problem, you need to get the reference angle and then adjust that reference angle in the appropriate quadrant, either here on the second or the first. If it is on the first, the answer will be positive. If it is on the fourth, sorry, that's the fourth. The angle will be negative, right? So the answer will be negative 3 pi over 8. Okay. So the first step again is the reference angle and then adjust that on quadrant 1 or quadrant 4. Okay. You can actually take a calculator. Let me show you this. You can actually take this calculator and verify what I'm showing you here. Look, the sine of 11 pi over 8 is this number, and sine of negative 3 pi over 8 is actually the same number, right? So it is okay to replace negative 3 pi over 8 by 11 pi over 8. And also, if you actually do this, the entire operation on the calculator, look, please, if you want to do sine inverse, like sine inverse of a sine of 11 pi over 8, like just the original problem says this, right? So you press enter, you're gonna see this quantity, right? And notice that you actually, you do it wrong, right? You type 11 pi over 8, like 11 pi over 8. I mean, that assuming that you do the problem wrong, like you cancel out these two guys like this, and then you say, oh, this is gonna be 11 pi over 8, correct? So you do it wrong, you're gonna get a different number, a completely different number, right? I mean, this is not this. So now notice that the correct question, this is the correct answer is negative 3 pi over 8. And this is exactly the same number we have here. Okay, so that's how you should do this problem. If you want me to give another example, like let me give another example here. Let's say you do sine inverse sine. It can be any other number, like maybe 3 pi over 5, right? 3 pi over 5 is not on negative pi over 2 to pi over 2. In this case, yes, you see a common denominator that might be actually 10, right? Like I can actually do this. 5 pi over 10, which is the same as 11 pi over 2, and 5 pi over 10. And I'm going to convert this into tens, right? Just to have the same denominator. I mean, that will be 6 pi over 10, right? So what I'm doing here is nothing else but just have the same denominator, so you can clearly see that this angle is not in this interval, right? Okay, so let's draw it. Okay, let's draw this circle, right? And you know that that number 6 pi over 10 is probably here, right? I mean, is here, right? I mean that that is right here. Okay, right here, right? So this is a 6 pi over 10, or 3 pi over 5, whatever you want to call it. Like, let's do 3 pi over 5 is the same, right, as 6 pi over 10. So what we have to do is get the reference angle. Again, reference is that little angle, that little tiny angle between the terminal side, this is the terminal side, and the x-axis. It's acute and positive. Okay. So that'll be 2 pi over 5. This is the reference angle. Okay, reference. So now, since sine of 3 pi over 5 is positive here, sine is positive, it's gotta be here. Sine is positive here, right? So you gotta adjust it here, not here on the fourth. Remember again, sine needs to be here and here. Sine inverse, I'm sorry. Sine inverse gotta be either on the first or the second. If it is possible on the first, please, I keep saying the second, I'm sorry, it's the fourth or the fourth, okay? Let's adjust this reference angle here, 2 pi over 5. 2 pi over 5 is actually 4 pi over 10, which is actually here, right, in this interval. So this is actually 2 pi over 5. Okay, that will be the answer. You can actually get a calculator and check this answer with your calculator, okay? It's another example, right? But the very first step, the key step, is in the reference. Once you get the reference, you can adjust that reference either on the first or the fourth, okay? Yeah. So I hope that answered your questions. I mean, this is a video was kind of I made this video in kind of informal way. Just let me know if you have any more questions.